We are live for a Monday night live stream. Looking forward to connecting, and hopefully everyone has a chance to get notified and plugged into the stream. And as always, doing some last minute uh, maneuvers, trying to connect and share my 2 cents on some things, as well as find out what's on your radar. So before I move forward, let me make sure I'm streaming so everybody can plug in and let their voice be heard. So give it a second, and hopefully more people are notified, and we'll connect for a few minutes and find out what else is going on out here. So hope everyone is doing well. It's a interesting Monday, to say the least. Same old, nothing new, more noise, more distractions, but it's always good to find out some things perhaps we may not be familiar with. So definitely looking forward to doing that. So before I move forward, let me make sure I'm plugged in, and let me know if, via the chat if you guys can hear me. All right, so I see some people tuning in. Yeah, so always trying to do something different, and I like this straight-on view more than just a wide-angle view. So I'm going to try to play around with this, and of course it's not perfect, but yet it allows me to connect, and I want to definitely get a chance to hear from everybody. So hope everyone's doing well. Let me open up some more tabs on my end here that we can keep it moving. So just from the audio, let me know if you guys can hear me, and we'll get right into it. And before I just one of the things that caught my attention is the whole situation in Brazil, and how all the headlines here in the West, or in North America rather, is comparing it to January 6th. And I saw an image of the guy with the bullhorn mimicking the same type of style that was from the January 6th stuff, and it just looks so set up. It looks such a psyop type of ordeal, and so to me it spells CIA, U.S. intel written all on that, as well as Brazilian intel and things like that. And it's comical, man, that we're starting the year off, and of course, here we are. 2 years later, we have all that other stuff happening down in Brazil. And while their former president happens to be here in Florida, apparently in a hospital or something like that. So, very interesting times. But anyway, how is everyone doing? Let me know what's on your radar. Let me know what you guys have been keeping an eye on. And so I must admit, on my end, I'm for the most part dialing back more and more, just trying to focus on self-improvement, more of the spiritual side of things. So even when I go to log in at night, it's like, my typical format is to post articles throughout the day, scan the news for, headlines that relate to the monetary system and the financial shift. But at this current moment, it's, to me personally, it's all the same. It's nothing new until something really takes place that is another, event that is designed to further the globalist agenda. It's all a slow, progressive burning of the Babylonian system for the most part. And so me personally, I've been plugged in. And for those who had a chance to connect on the community page, reading a book by Derek Prince called Blessings and Curses. And so the Lord is dealing with me on some things that I need to clean up in my life in order for his blessings to flow smoothly. And so that's pretty much what I've been focused on. That's the most important thing to me right now. Everything else is just more so noise and stuff to keep us preoccupied. While all along, nothing's new out here, man. But anyway, let me click on a couple more things here, and we should be good to go. Hopefully, everything is good. So anyway, I'm gonna check in via chat. And then we're going to, let me see here. I'm trying to see if the one participant, trying to connect to a couple more platforms here. And then I'll stop rambling, check in via the chat, and then open up the phone lines, just because I'm sure there's things that you guys are keeping an eye on. What is this? Leave, yeah. I was going to attempt to stream on the Telegram channel, but as of now, it doesn't look like it's going to flow smoothly. So I'm not going to waste my time there. Okay, so let's check in via the chat real quick. Let me pop up a window here so I can see who I'm speaking with, and then we'll connect. We will connect. Let me mute some things here. All right, so let me find out who's plugged in, man. Appreciate you guys. So, real quick, if you haven't already, definitely hit that thumbs up button. Hopefully, that notifies a few more people. They can get plugged in real quick. It won't be long. Just want to check in and open up the phone lines and find out what's going on. And more and more, I want to be more active, but then again, it's more so like I want to shake things up a little bit on my end. Talking about doom and gloom, bad news. I mean, it's I just it's not me no more, man. I can't even front. Doesn't really hold my interest as much. And so need to pivot and figure out what's next just beyond the obvious. All right, so let me acknowledge a couple people. Then we'll jump into some. I have articles, a couple articles here, but I'd rather hear from you guys. So we got Clint Bale checking in. We got Renee. We got Roman. We have LBP checking in. We got Drickett, if I'm not saying it correctly. Half Dollar has a new YouTube channel, not a gold bug. Yep, Mr. Half Dollar, Paul, spoke with him or texted with him a couple times, and he's doing good. He's going through some changes on his side, so definitely look forward to being able to connect with him in the near future as well. Definitely, Paul's a good dude, man. It means well, and wish him the best. What else we got here? Our Clatex Cats from Northeast Texas. How you doing, my friend? We have James checking in, Witches Works, Mario 123. I'm the crazy person. We got Will Smith checking in as well. Appreciate you guys, man. All right, so as always, it's the People's Talk Show. The goal is to get connected with you guys and find out what you're keeping an eye on. So if you haven't already, throw some thoughts out there in the chat. We can definitely touch on them. And so real quick on my end, just some things that caught my attention. I'll pop it up here on the screen real quick. And so here's a headline that I thought was worth just chiming on, just because people who are in the alternative media can see right through it. But I think it's comical just because there's still the overwhelming majority of people who really think that things are occurring naturally and not get any help from corrupt politicians as well as the private sector. But it says Brazil and January 6th in the U.S. parallel attacks, but not identical. And so I'm going through Twitter and I'm seeing all this video footage. Let me actually bring it up on the screen here. So I can make this easier. I got too much stuff going on my side. So let me pop out the chat, exit out some windows so I can actually focus on what's in front of me. So anyway, just video footage here. It just shows a lot of what appears to be pissed off people who feel like they got robbed in their past presidential election, mimicking what happened here 2 years ago. Nothing was really resolved. The thing swept under the rug. Nothing really makes sense. But then again, they expect the world to move on. And it's amazing how if they pull some fraudulent activity off here in the U.S. 2 years ago, and they're doing it in Brazil, obviously, I'm sure a lot of people have suspicions on the election not being legit. But at this point of the game, does it really even matter, is my point. That's what I wanted to try to get to. Does it even matter that our politicians, as well as all these other entities out here, are basically just moving forward uninterrupted for the most part, and the average Joe is asleep at the wheel? And that's why I was saying when I first logged on as to how there's nothing new. Everything's remaining the same. They're pressing forward. There's smidgets of what appears to be good news, but for the majority, the technological takeover is still underway. I'm seeing more and more articles about internet censorship, and a lot of these articles I post in the Telegram. But there's internet censorship where basically you got to have a digital ID. That stuff has been pushed forward from our own government. The Pentagon is actually leading that charge. And then you got CBDC talk. A lot of people think it won't succeed, but then once we get to that point where something officially breaks and the world is in complete shambles, it's very likely that people will probably accept it like they've accepted everything else thrown our way. Everything from TSA patting people down to airports to, you name it. Yeah. Whenever stuff is initially rolled out, usually, they don't roll it back in. And that's kind of where we're at now. But anyway, so what caught my attention just to even talk about this, and of course, I want to get your guys' thoughts on it. It's this picture right here. I'll put this on the screen so you guys can see it. So it's this picture right here. This is what caught my attention when somebody posted this on Twitter. I'm thinking like, oh my goodness, like mainstream media right there to get these photos fresh as they're occurring. How can people not see through this and realize that this is just more of the same political charade / governmental military psyop type of event? But here in the West, it's not really been talked about much other than the angle that we've put on it here, or the Western media has put on it, comparing it to January 6th, as if like that narrative is the only narrative out there. There's no alternative narrative. There's no additional information that's been presented with people being led into the Capitol. And, we have agents out there provoking and encouraging people to keep moving forward into the Capitol and all that stuff like that. But just, what person in their right mind would deliberately dress up like an idiot and with a blowhorn, calling himself leading a charge that's supposed to actually, be a genuine movement for the majority. But then again, you have representatives like this who happen to make the headlines, just completely just pissing all over his own people. And more than likely, the American version on this side, this guy, I remember talking about him. He was an actual actor. He was an actor, a paid actor, I guess pretending to be, or perhaps, one of the MAGA crew. I don't know. But anyway, it's just interesting, man. And so Karen says that the guy from America over here, he's still in jail. But then Karen, that's what we were told. And that's where at this current moment, because the corruption runs so deep, the headlines can say one thing, but then again, at the end of the day, how do we know? We cannot verify that anything we're told from the media is accurate other than what they want us to believe. And the reason I'm very suspicious in reading about so-called sentences being given out to people who are being prosecuted for whatever crimes happens to be the George Floyd situation. And so I think it's been 2 years, 3 years, however long, not even sure. But just literally like not long ago, the person who was the former officer that was supposedly had his knee on his neck, that guy apparently is going to do some time or something like that. But then again, I'm like, the picture that they showed us doesn't even look like the same guy that was, actually there in the uniform with his knee, on his neck area. It's completely two different people. And so if the images that the media has given us don't even look like the same character, what will actually make me think that the people who do the crime are actually going to do the time? And so that's just my suspicion. Could be 100% wrong, but that's kind of where in the midst of this chaotic world where nothing really makes sense, everything's been turned upside down. I'll go with that until I'm proven wrong. Anyway, okay, so for those who are plugged in, as I mentioned before, hit that thumbs up button, man. Show some love for the boy. Just checking in for a quick minute. Wanted to find out what else was happening out here. Lots of, I put some articles up in the chat in reference to gold and things like that. And it's, it is what it is. I mean, we got this little suckers rally. I don't buy it one bit, but it's what they're giving us for now. There's some funds out there tracing something, trying to instill confidence to sucker and all that cash on the sidelines. Nobody wants to sit out and miss a rally. So what better way to sucker in some fresh cash other than let the markets go green while they slam silver and gold, of course. All right. So let me see what else I got here. I want to actually just get the phone lines open. Let's talk. And I'm curious to hear what's on your radar. Lots of stuff happening, I'm sure. But let's talk. So feel free. Let's get this party started, man. I actually want to talk. I would rather talk. Let me put the number up here real quick. And let me let me gotta exit out some things. Let me see if we can get that up here. See if that shows. All right, let's This looks good. This don't look too bad, do it? All right, so let's talk. Phone lines are open. We'll see how this goes. Want to hear from you guys directly. As I mentioned before, on my side here, trying to figure out how to shake things up some. Talking about the obvious is, getting kind of dry. And so I try to, interviews wise, as I mentioned before, and I'll probably attempt to get out and do more interviews. But then again, everybody for the most part is saying the same thing. Let me know by either chat or give me a call. Let me know, from an information standpoint and an educational standpoint, what are some different messages or narratives that you're coming across from other content creators that help, I guess, shine more positive light on what's happening out here, if any. Of course there is, but just because majority of the information I've talked about happens to be about the demise of the Federal Reserve note and the preparation and rollout for the central bank digital currency, which all that stuff is still underway. It's still underway. And so it's just a matter of what time and when. And, we go from there. Catch a live, bless your mind. Appreciate you, Andy. What else we got here? State of emergency in Cali. So is Cali still experiencing the weather issue? For all my people in Cali, let me know. Persistence over resistance. You know the phone number, 313-462-0027. Give me a call. Definitely would love to get your perspective on things. I got the wrong number up there. Persistence over resistance. Give me a call, man. Definitely would love to get your take on it. And let me check out the Cali emergency. What's happening in Cali as of late? Haven't even checked in on my people in Cali. California emergency. LBP said finally got some Bitcoin. All right, so here looks like something fresh off the press from earlier. I'll put this on the screen here so we can get a look at it. And so let me know if you guys can see this. Let me zoom in some. Let me zoom in some. Let me know if you guys can see this. All right. It says life-threatening flooding feared in Northern California as storms cause rivers to swell. It says, let me see here. So this is, energetic and moisture-laden cyclone, which is typically expected to do this. Move 2 is the latest parade of atmospheric rivers. I keep seeing the word atmospheric rivers. Like, who in the world created that? What climate person decided to use that as a narrative? Have plummeted states over the last 10 days. So I assume it looks like different pockets have been getting slammed with rain. But let me know how that goes. All right, let's talk. Phone lines are open. Hello, caller. Where are you calling from?
Hey, Mike. How you doing? It's Persistence over Resistance. Chapo, how are you?
I'm doing good, my friend. Give me some good news, man.
Not much good news, but I was just wondering, did you have a chance to watch that Glenn Beck interview with about the nuclear fusion?
I did not watch it. No. Give me some nuts and bolts.
I encourage you to watch it.
Okay, I can definitely get to it. Give me the nuts and bolts though.
It's only like 15 minutes long, but it talks about the very real and near production of like portable nuclear fusion generators that can basically fit on the back of tractor trailers. People don't think that this technology is this far along, but it literally, I mean, it literally is.
Yeah.
You saw that article, correct?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So basically, this could hit the market, within like 3 years, I think. And then if that happens, you're looking at, they said in an interview that fusion energy produces a net 10. So for every 1 unit of energy, it produces 10 units of energy. For every one input of energy, like for example, if you have a coal stove, you put coal in the stove.
Yeah.
You don't need, once you do that once with the lasers, it starts up and it just continues to regenerate itself. It's literally self-sustaining energy that is incredible.
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible. And once you fix that energy problem, you fix a lot of problems around the world. Would you agree?
I would agree. Now, just out of curiosity, in the midst of what has been labeled as a great reset, does it hit you as being suspicious, or like, all this energy stuff, zero net carbon emissions, like, does this like give you like, some rough, like, so is it, I mean, outside of the news is positive, okay, sure, but is there any suspicions as to how and why now? I would assume it's been available before now, but why are they so excited about this type of stuff now in the midst of all this oil stuff and Russia and all this other stuff like that? That don't tingle your feathers and nothing like that.
Well, the way I look at it, this completely takes away all the ESG stuff that they talk about. I mean, they if anything, maybe their goal was to run this in the background and not tell us about it. But when people find out that you're producing net 10 energy for one input of energy, and it basically is almost free.
Yeah.
Why would it doesn't make sense why people would pay for it, right? Like,
right.
I don't see. I mean, and we all know it's been suppressed. So
right.
Why is it now not suppressed, right?
Right.
I don't know if you saw the Joe Rogan clip a month or so back with Reynolds, or I forget the guy's name, but he's like the archaeologist, the two guys who come in, archaeologists, and they're talking about a lot of energy and a lot of suppressed technology will be hitting like the mainstream airwaves coming soon.
Right.
And you can kind of even see it if you're in those rooms, and then eventually it's going to get bigger. But I mean, to me, this is like, because energy, the only way the energy would work is by having this in the background, right? But it's essentially regenerable, so it's free, and it's incredible. I just encourage you to watch the
right. Yeah, I know. I definitely will, and I hope that that information is 100% accurate, not hopium, and that when it is available and out there, that the average common Joe has a chance to actually use it. Because that means all the energy sources that we pay for daily will be null and void. And to me, that's like that's a no-no. I just don't see like actually public traded companies or whatever being willing, like the government's allowing that, because the profit on the other side of that, like that's the part where it's like because I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful though. I'll be happy.
I understand that. Like, I'm not naive to the fact that there's nefarious people running the world right now. I just how I think.
Yeah.
I tend to think that things are going to turn around. I mean, the pendulum has to swing backwards. It like, to me, if it doesn't, it's just we don't really live in a godless world. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
God's going to win in the end. It always does.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hey.
So it's got to swing backwards, and people don't want to think that we've really been we've been in the fight for about 2 years now. You know, and things are starting to change, and I don't know. I can't really think. I'm not stupid, so I know what to look for.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, I appreciate you, man. As always, I like your optimistic viewpoint, and because that allows you to go find information and bring it with a positive spin on it. So I appreciate that. So thank you, my friend.
Yeah, and Mike, I just want you to know I appreciate the dialogue. Like, I need somebody to check me on my stuff. You know what I mean? So,
same here.
I just it's hard for me to be pessimistic, like really pessimistic, because I just don't see it that way. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's good.
I guess I shouldn't say that, because you're not pessimistic. You're just real about the
I'm trying to be more open-minded to things, but realizing, that's where like I hang everything on the spiritual side of things based upon how the good book comes to an end. And so because of that, that's why I'm like, everything else in between now and that time is temporary, to where it is hope within that time frame. But in the end, it's not going to be good for the overall majority, in my opinion. But I got another call here, my friend. But
okay. I'll let you go.
All right, appreciate you. Thanks, my friend.
Yep. Take care.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Appreciate the call. Persistence over resistance, Mr. Chapo. So I did miss a call or two. Feel free to give me a call. Definitely love to get your thoughts on this or anything else. Hello, caller. Which name are you calling from?
Hey, Mike, it's Little Bird Pressure, Corpus Christi. How's it going?
LBP, doing good, my friend. What's up with you?
Look, man, I don't know, Mike. A lot of this science stuff and I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, I always question it. Like, I was listening to a guy, okay, look, with this fusion and all this. What they're trying to do is recreate the sun, right?
Mhm.
Here on Earth, right?
Mhm.
Okay, I don't even think the sun is exactly what people think, Mike. Like, if you go like to the sun, if you get a ship,
Mhm.
I don't even think it's hot if you go up to the sun, Mike.
Really?
Like check this out.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you got trillions of stars, right?
Mhm.
And they're all burning hot for billions and trillions of years. Don't you think the whole universe would have been like kind of hot by now? You go to space and it's freezing.
Yeah, hey man. So like astrology and all that stuff, I'm not even familiar with it. I know one thing.
Yeah.
When I go outside in the summertime and that sun is beaming down on me, it's hot as I don't know what. So I don't know.
Yeah, but you get on a plane and you go up on a mountain bike and it's not hot anymore.
Okay, I've yet to do that, but I can imagine that being the case.
Don't you think the Earth would have been heated up by now? It would have been like, you know what I'm saying? It would have been already 1,000 degrees and heating day and night, day and night, day and night. You know?
Yeah. Hey, I mean,
don't make no sense.
Right. I can admit that things don't make no sense.
Look, Mike. Yeah. Look, you ever see like I seen the surgery? You know,
Mhm.
when they use a laser through the air, the laser has no heat.
Yeah.
Until it hits the surface, and
Yeah.
that's where the heat. I think that's how the sun is, Mike. I think it has to hit an atmosphere and it has to hit a surface in order for the heat. It's like a light energy. I don't know how to explain it, but it has to hit something in order for the energy to dissipate, you know, and create heat and light.
Yeah.
It's like a flashlight, you know, in the middle of the air. It doesn't heat the air, but for some reason, once it hits the surface, then the heat comes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't explain it, Mike. But I don't think things are like they say they are.
Right. Or the atmospheric conditions is like similar to a magnifying glass. Like when you hold a magnifying glass, towards something, the rays themselves is probably what produces on the other side of that, it catches fire. So I would imagine the atmosphere that we're in is probably also plays a major role in that. You know what I'm saying? Like the absorption of the sun and the intensity of the sun rays and stuff like that. Because I remember it was 10, 20 years ago growing up, them talking about a hole in the ozone. And we were all going to burn up because the hole, and I ain't heard nothing about that hole. So it must have closed up or something. So, but I mean, it's just science stuff, man. Like they love to throw stuff at us to, make them relevant. You know what I'm saying? Put it like that, to make them relevant. And so,
I'm telling you, Mike. I don't know about the whole flat Earth thing, but I bet 50% of the stuff that they teach that it's just theory. You know, there's no way to measure those things. You know?
Yeah, I agree. I would say a lot more than 50% of what they told us is suspect at this point. Like because they are the experts, and I think over the last year or two, we've all found out what experts are capable of when they're bought and paid for from special interest groups and things like that.
This energy thing, Mike, we already have good energy. Like I don't know how it is exactly, but it's like the softball of uranium. You know, it has enough energy, like over 1 million barrels of oil or something crazy like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
All you got to do is get a little piece of that uranium, like a speck, like a little sand, or like a little piece like the size of a grain of sand, and put it in a little machine and have that power your house, for like 1,000 years.
Hey, I will be down with that. Save my energy bill. I can sell it back to somebody.
They got that already. You don't need the fusion. They got that. Like, a little mini reactor. Something safe that they could use on a personal level in your home.
A mini reactor. A mini reactor. If anybody out there in the community know how to make mini reactors, reach out to me. I want one. But I get you.
They can do that, Mike. All they have to do is just, downsize it. But they worried about everybody going to get them all the little nuclears and put them together and blow something up. Who knows? But there's technology to do that, Mike. They just don't want to do it.
They got people enriching uranium in their basements nowadays.
I don't know, Mike.
Oh, man.
I don't know. Hey, like Back to the Future, the Iranians, Mike. Remember those guys?
Yeah, man. God, that is funny. But hey, man, appreciate you calling, my friend.
All right, Mike.
Good talking to you.
Have a good one.
You too. Yeah, man. LBP, appreciate you, man. Yeah, I like to have the mood lightened a little bit. Yeah. What else we got here? So feel free. Yeah, phone lines are open, man. Would love to hear from you guys. Let me know what's on your radar. Feel free to throw it at me. We got some more calls coming in. Let's see what we got here. Let me get you on here. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Joe. What's up? It's Mike from PA.
Mike, what's going on, my friend? What's on your mind?
Not much. Just wanted to get your opinion on what do you think is the best and quickest way, in all morals and ethics. Knowing what you know now, what do you think is the best and quickest way going forward to get rich?
The
I'll let
best.
somebody else get on the call.
The best and quickest way to get rich.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I just want to clear up the line, so I'll let you go. Okay.
all right, appreciate you, man. Yeah, that's a loaded question because okay, I got you. All right, the best and quickest way to get rich. Well, given where I'm at in my personal journey, the first thing came to my mind was, the spiritually pursuing wisdom from a biblical standpoint, being led by the Spirit. But that's the spiritual side. That's the first thing that comes to my mind of what I would do over again. I would place God's methodology ahead of my own because mine tend to not end up end well. Anyway, but no, quickest thing to get rich ethically. I would say, let me see. First thing comes to mind. Feel free to throw out some thoughts and ideas, but first thing to get rich quickly. At this current moment, I mean, a couple of years ago, I would have said cryptos would have been the best way because during the quantitative easing days, everything was, little meme coins was turning people into millionaires. So that would have been a great way to get rich. But then again, rich, I mean, what is that? $1 million, $2 million? What is that? Depending on what your measurement of rich is. But that's what comes to my mind. And let me know out there in the chat what you guys think about what's the quickest and easiest way to ethically and morally get rich. Let me know in the chat. Change fiat for silver. Quickly call Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried brain. Yeah, and that's fake wealth. Let go and let God. Oh, 100%. God, gold and silver are real wealth. But even that, it doesn't compare long term to having wisdom because you can lose your gold and silver, but yet the wisdom given to you from God will last you a lot longer and bring greater riches, in my opinion. All right, let me. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike, it's Pete in District 2.
Pete, what's going on, my friend? Happy New Year. Long time. What's going on with you, my friend?
Oh, I'm just responding to the last caller.
Oh, it sounds good. Right on time. I'm sure you have something good to say. What you got for me, man?
There's no way to get rich spiritually or monetarily in a lasting way fast.
I agree with that one.
No, and if you get rich spiritually and you follow the word and you live the life and you walk the walk,
mm-hmm.
then gradually over time things are on your side. But what is with this fast stuff?
I think that's this modern day age that we live in where everything is usually done within a short time frame. Like we live in an instant society. So I would assume that probably will lead to people thinking that it's possible to get done quickly and be long lasting and satisfying or enjoying or you being able to enjoy it, which is not too likely.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody wants to get rich. Why don't you read Proverbs 10 times over?
Yeah. Good point. So I wonder what was the spin on that? What was the intention of that question? Even though it gets people engaging and whatever, and get some thoughts out there. But I wonder, was it more of a quick question, or is he gonna follow up with his explanation as to why in the chat or something like that? I'm curious. Somebody says a lottery.
I would love to know as well. I would love to know.
Yeah. So hopefully he calls back, but. Somebody says a lottery. So right now, I mean, I think we got one in Michigan.
But
I think it's like $950 million or some crap like that right now.
No, but the lottery's not lasting.
Right.
If you win the lottery, you're generally, not prepared. If you were to win $950 million, you were to keep half of it. It's a full-time job.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes great knowledge and the skill set to just maintain it.
Right. Statistics show that I forgot what they are, but in under 10 years, most people are in worse shape than they were when they won that money. So lose your friends, your family, and everything else. And then, God forbid, probably people probably eventually associate their own life's worth into that and end up taking their own life. So that's the sad part about all that.
Yeah, just read Proverbs, read Matthew, follow the rules. It'll take care of itself. But there's no fast.
I'm glad you comment on that, my friend. Thanks for calling in.
Couldn't let it go. I hope he calls back.
Definitely. Be good, my friend.
Take care.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's talk. The blessing. So I'll leave it at that, man. The blessing. Let me see what else we got here. Feel free to throw out some thoughts, ideas, and questions in the chat. That's $1 billion question. If we knew, we would have done it. Quickest way to do big bucks in the central bank environment: do financial engineering, create derivative products via investment banking. Oh, I mean, going to politics, like AOC, I would say a great example of a person who went from rags to riches is AOC, Alexandria something Cortez. Like, she went from being a waiter in NY to now, like, I don't know what her net worth is, but now that she's in DC and because she's playing the game, she's definitely, she's probably, several digits, several, $1 million. She's up there in $1 million range on a, was it $200,000 salary? So probably going to politics or banking. Hello, caller. Where you calling from?
Mike's pay me money bags.
Pay me money bags. I know you got something for me. Go ahead.
I'm really disappointed in everybody.
Go ahead. What's up?
To the question that y'all trying to figure out, you know what I'm saying? how to get rid of. Okay, there's two answers.
Okay.
All right. Biblically, you correct. Mm-hmm. If you want to go the biblical route,
right,
go study King Solomon. All right. Mm-hmm. King Solomon was the richest man in the land. But if you go and read King Solomon, mm-hmm. it gives you the blueprint on what King Solomon did to get rich. Now I'm going to tell you on how the fast way on what he did so you can apply it to today.
Okay.
Now, there's people in this world who have millions and billions of dollars. Am I right or wrong, Mike?
Right.
If you want to get rich fast, you have to create something that they are willing to give their money to you for. See, there's one thing that I know, like I told you last weekend, I was blessed enough to be around rich people. Mm-hmm. And there's one thing that I learned by being around them is that they have no problem with giving you the money that they have stored up. Right. What you have to do is create something that they need,
right,
that they're willing to give you the money for.
Good point.
So be a creator. God created us to be creators. So find out what your niche is when it comes to who you're trying to target. Mm-hmm. Create something. Find out what you're creative at. Mm-hmm. And then you create something to that individual or individuals, and they'll be willing to give you the money. Like King Solomon, they heard all around the land on how luxurious his kingdom was. People were willing to pay him.
Right.
Listen to me. It's in the Bible. Mm-hmm. They were willing to pay him just to get his knowledge. They brought gifts. What they did a calculation of was it Sheba or whatever the queen was? I don't want to misquote. Yeah. But when she came to see him, if you calculate how much gold she brought King Solomon just to talk to him, mm-hmm. it was like almost billions, if not trillions,
right,
worth of gold.
Right. That sounds. So. Also, I appreciate you for sharing on Twitter that Bishop Wayne Malcolm. So I think you did that last week or two. I peeped that. So I'll listen to a couple of his sermons, especially on Myron Goldwyn. whatever his channel is, and definitely those little short snippets are some nuggets, my friend.
Yeah, so I just want to encourage people, find out what you're good at.
Mm-hmm.
If you're good at making pipes, bongs, bottle caps, it doesn't matter. Find somebody who's willing to buy it.
Right.
And if you want to be around, I give people one more quote. If you got the time, if you're in farming,
mm-hmm.
this is for my farming, my agriculture people.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to another guy, Rick, multi-millionaire. You want to know what this guy's multi-millionaire off of? And all he has is 1 acre of land.
What's that?
Elephant garlic.
Elephant garlic.
Oh man, when this guy invited me to his house, and I seen how much, he explained to me how the elephant garlic. He said, first of all, it's so expensive per pound.
Mm-hmm.
You literally got to get online. You got to find the buyer because it's hard to get. But if you grow this one elephant garlic, maybe it's probably about $6 or $7. I don't know what it is today,
mm-hmm.
but this was like, I didn't ask him. Yeah, for one ball.
Mm. Okay.
So like when he told me how he did it in the square foot and what he makes a year,
mm-hmm.
over $100,000 a year, just over $100,000 a year
mm-hmm.
selling elephant garlic online.
Yeah, that's a rare niche for sure. That'll do it, man. That's real.
But 1 acre of land is what he's doing this
on with.
1 acre.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's even more impressive.
So you don't need much. People have to be thinkers. You have to think. You have to be around like-minded people. When y'all come to this show, to the Mike show, or any of his shows, to Mike and Mario,
mm-hmm.
come willing to learn, to grow. Don't be stagnant. We have to participate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mike said he wants to get rid of some of the negative. Well, we have to start being creators, create ventures for ourselves. Let's start
mm-hmm.
creating lanes for ourselves that we can join. A lot of lanes that we create, we charge people for.
Yeah.
If I had a platform, this is just me.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm welcoming all arms. You can come get this stuff for free, but I create something that everybody needs. You're gonna be. It goes back to King Solomon.
Right. Good point. Good point, man. I like
that.
I
don't want to hold your time up, man. I just want to, throw that out there and get people's minds rolling tonight. Sit down with your husband, wife, significant other, whoever, dog, cat, cup of coffee, beer, and start thinking about what you're good at creating. If you got a lot of metal, start. If you got a lot of metal or rod, iron, or whatever, man, and wood, I create pitchforks and sell them to farmers. It ain't nothing. I'm telling you.
That's real. Hey man, appreciate you, man. I'm gonna, for those who are tuned in, because as I mentioned, let me share this on the screen real quick. But I would encourage you, if you want to be encouraged and get some very good spiritually led ideas. Myron Golden is a YouTube channel, and he has this gentleman right here who's dropping nuggets. So I'd encourage you to go get some of those nuggets because you'll definitely learn some. So I know I have. But hey, appreciate you, man.
Hey, not a problem, Mike. Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, be good.
You too.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Great thoughts. And so here's I would definitely encourage, because I just came across him from Pay Me Money Bags. And so here's just a couple of his little snippet presentations, but definitely a lot of knowledge coming from his mouth. And anybody talks about the kingdom of God, I'm all ears. So if you can relate, current environment, the kingdom of God, calling, purpose, those are buzzwords that just, get me beyond excited. So that's what excites me at this current moment in my life. Hello, Carlos. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Chicago.
Carl, what's going on, my friend? What's on your mind?
The Chicago Teachers Union got caught with their hands in a cookie jar.
Chicago's Teachers Union. Okay, give me the rundown.
Well, they, with all that COVID money,
mm-hmm.
they all went on vacations, got bonuses.
Are you serious? I wasn't familiar with that.
It started to come down. Yeah, they got their hands caught in the cookie jar.
Teachers Union corruption. Let me type in Chicago Teachers Union corruption and see what pops up. Investigating sexual. Okay, I see some sexual conduct. Let me see. Schools watchdog finds hundreds of employees groomed. Oh man, I see it get a lot of other things going on in Chicago too.
Well, they got a bunch of bonuses off the COVID money. They were supposed to buy laptops for online learning, and they all got bonuses. They went on vacations.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me one bit, man. I think I would say we had some issues here in Michigan with the unemployment agency here. They had buku people literally filing fake claims and using those funds to pay off people, and people out here buying Mercedes, and so corruption is everywhere.
There's
So
people in jail too that were collecting unemployment and COVID money.
So yeah, it's not just in Chicago, my friend.
Well, they're getting busted now. Yeah, the attorney general's going after them.
Yeah, so that's definitely not a smart way to try to get rich. But people still the lure of money, man, greed, man, it's amazing. People do anything for a piece of paper, man.
The root of all evil.
Yeah, the love of money.
Yep.
Love it.
All right, have a good one.
No, man, appreciate your call, my friend.
Bye.
Yep. That's interesting. Yeah, I'd imagine there's other cities where they've took those billions upon billions of funds and did all types of things with it, man. Let me see. I see a lot of thoughts here back and forth. Americans still won't give the Afghans their gold back. All the gold that was confiscated, that was stolen from the U.S. military and U.S. forces and all the activity we've done across the world, people not getting our gold back, man. They took Ukraine gold everywhere U.S. invaded, everywhere U.S. influenced and bought the politicians and the presidents. They took the gold. It's gone. That gold is in probably the Rothschilds' vaults or, one of those oligarchy type families. It's in their vaults. It don't even belong to governments no more. Like the wealthiest in existence happen to be the families that's been a part that just owns the central banks and its banks for hundreds of years. Like those people are the ones that are sitting heaviest right now. And they love to put up, was a Fortune 500, top 100, Elon Musk. Oh, he lost $200 billion of, worst loss in all time. Like, oh, whatever. It was all USD denominated, central bank, fiat. Still spends though, but it ain't the same as having palaces around the world with vaults in the basement and stacked up with gold and silver and everything else in between. Let me see. Venezuela got gold still being held hostage in the Bank of England. Right? They're not getting that. They're not getting that back. It is a wrap. Jenny says, being rich is a curse. Strive to be grateful and thankful for all God has blessed you with. No doubt. And, I'm reading a book called Blessings and Curse, and just understanding the Abrahamic covenant is something I've been focusing on, and how through the blessing, Abraham was blessed in all things. And you just look at in Genesis, all the things, the cattle, the gold, the land, the gold, the silver, everything that Abraham was blessed with. That right there is a result of the blessing of the Lord, which maketh rich and it adds no sorrow with it. So strive for hearkening to God's voice and obeying his commandments. And as a result of that, you will qualify through Christ, of course, to be a recipient of the blessing. And that will provide all the provision you need in this life and in the one to come. Where are you with the love of money? Mike, where are you with the love of money? I really don't like commercials as real. I really don't like commercials as real videos. Where are you at with Uranium royalties? Why don't you admit pay? Roger Rose, great point there. So yeah, as a business owner, so getting behind this camera here, it's an opportunity for me to monetize the channel, as well as connect with partners that I do support certain things. So the uranium royalties, I am looking to get involved with it, but I am currently not. And so all the CEOs, as well as all the other people, I do invest in some of them. And then there are some disclaimers for all of that. So I personally am invested in some. So yes, I do. And so here's the thing, whether they're sponsored or not, just because I have always reached out to CEOs as well as a variety of people way smarter than me, I would connect with them just to pick their brains in the first place and get their thoughts on what's going on. And because they do have products that I do believe in, because I do believe minors will have their day in the sunshine, I definitely would get involved. So I bring it to you guys because I'm interested, and then it could be an opportunity for those who have interest as well. So that's how that comes about. And as far as love is money, it's just like, going to work. You get up and go to work, just like I do. Like, you're not doing it for free. So the only thing is leveraging the internet makes it a lot easier to connect with people and do it via internet. That's all. What else we got? Venezuela. Okay, that's old. More people have it. Seems cheaper they are. Being rich is a curse. Okay, well, I don't see any new thoughts, no phone calls. All right, well, let's get ready to dial back. We're at 51 minutes. I appreciate everybody for who came and hang out with the crew. It's always good to connect and get some calls from people and throw out some thoughts and ideas, man. And once again, try to make sense of all this craziness out here. So anyway, I hope everyone has a great evening or morning, wherever you're at. If you've found any value whatsoever hanging out in the community and interacting with those in the chat, hit that thumbs up button, show your support for the channel. And be back at it tomorrow, same time, same place. And yeah, I'm sure there'll be more than enough stories to talk about tomorrow. But other than that, be blessed, be safe. I'll see you guys later. Peace.